Hello, race fans, and welcome to the 2025 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest and the Race for the Southern Cup. It's the first stop on the H1 Unlimited 2025 Summer Tour. My name is Brad Luce, and I'm in charge of bringing you all the action this summer. But I won't be working alone. I have alongside me today here at Lake Guntersville. It's no introduction to hydroplane racing fans. If you followed our sport, you know this young man. He is Brent Hall. Brent, welcome to H1 Unlimited's coverage.
Why, thank you, brother from another mother. We're going to have a good time. So today we've got qualifying. We saw some really good testing speeds, so be on the lookout. Everyone's real close together. Boats are looking fast. We're in for some excitement for sure.
And this is the beginning of the season. This is the first opportunity for any of these teams to earn any points. They're all sitting over here behind us, and they all have 0 points. It all begins right now today with qualifying.
It's first day of school. We'll see where they come out.
And we're going to cover it for you. We've got lots of stories to cover all summer long, and we'll be on top of them. But for right now, let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team. Let's go to the pit area and Erica Allreed.
Thanks so much, Brad. I can hardly wait to kick off all of the action here for the Guntersville Hydrofest. While today is only a practice and qualifying session, it's the perfect opportunity for drivers to set the tone for their 2025 campaigns. In 2023, Cory Peabody shined as every other driver had to try and figure out how to solve that Peabody puzzle. In 2024, it was all about Andrew Tate as he topped 4 out of 5 qualifying sessions, had 11 heat victories and 2 final victories, and he went on to win the championship. Who will step up to the plate and be the one to chase this season? There's been a lot of preparation going into getting to this point, and when chatting with our winningest driver, Dave Villwock, earlier, he chalked it up to people who work hard often get lucky. The boats are ready. It's time to kick off this highly anticipated season.
There we go, Brent Hall. We are live, and to our fans who are listening around the country, welcome to H1 Unlimited's coverage of the 2025 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing season. As I mentioned in the opening, I'm Brad Luce. Brent Hall here sitting with me. We said we were going to have some fun. The fun's beginning right now. You ready?
The fun has just begun. I can't wait.
It's going to be a good time, and we've got boats out on the race course right now on the backstretch here on lap number 3, I believe. Yeah, the
Yes.
flag goes up now for Villwock at 27. He comes off the top end of the race course. His first lap, Brett, was 159.072. I don't have the second lap.
Oh, it looks beautiful. Dave's running clean laps, and we'll see where he comes out with this next one.
So we'll get the speed on the third lap. 161.527 miles per hour. We did not get the second lap speed. We'll get that up on the screen shortly and have it for you. But of his 2 laps that we have the speeds on, the 161.527 was the quickest. We'll get the speed on lap number 2. So we're started here, a little bit choppy here, but it's been a little choppy start to our qualifying session because we had the U91 come out on the race course and qualify, or so we thought, and they were not supposed to be the first boat out. The first boat on the water was supposed to be the U6, the Miss Madison, and there's a long story in there, but the Miss Madison racing team is the defending national high points champion. As such, they go out on the water in that particular point in the ladder. They move them up to the front because they're trying to get the driver qualified. They unfortunately did not get Brandon Kennedy out on the water this morning. They just weren't ready to go. They thought they were, and unfortunately they were first up on the ladder, but they had to pass on that. So we're still waiting to see Brandon Kennedy out here.
Yeah, excited to see Brandon, and I know, you know what, good things come to those who wait, so we'll give him a little bit extra time. They've been working all off season to get that boat together, but what a lot of momentum that is coming behind the Miss Madison team, and if you watch all the Facebook posts, there's some exciting stuff coming, so can't wait to see Brandon out there.
Yeah, there really is, and he's a great young man. I got to spend some time with him yesterday, and he's just a terrific individual. So then, when they couldn't go, our next boat up on the ladder was the U91.
Yes.
And this was Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate, the gold and white trimmed in black, the boat everybody remembers from a year ago, and it's the same boat, and it's the same driver and the same crew. Got a different owner.
Yes.
We'll be talking about Bruce Ratchford and that whole situation there. He was moved to the top of the ladder. He came out and put down 3 laps, the fastest of which was the third one at 164.597 miles per hour. And it was about 3 minutes after that we realized there was a black flag on the race course, and there was a buoy that was out of place. Thus, Andrew ran his speed and ran his laps on an irregular or unofficial race course. So those times go away. Andrew's got to come back out.
That's all right, but we got another boat coming out now. We got the Flavor Pack. So great to see Jamie Nilsen hit the course, and we'll see what they have today.
And this is another great big story.
It is.
For Scott and Shannon Rainey out of Cle Elum, Washington. And there, for those of you watching on the H1 live stream, you're looking at our Grand Prix qualifying, which took place a little over a half an hour ago. And then we thought we were going to get some weather in here, but we apparently dodged that bullet, so I think we're okay. And water conditions right now are pretty good, Brent.
Water looks really good. I think this is the kind of water you want to see when records happen. So we'll see what Jamie has for us.
A couple of weeks before the season got started, Scott and Shannon weren't quite sure what they were going to do this season from a sponsorship standpoint. Yeah. Then it got announced that Flavor Pack was on board. This is the end result. The boat just looks fabulous, and I know you've raced against Jamie. I'm assuming you have at some point along the way. This guy's a good shoe.
He's a great driver, and one of the things I love watching Jamie is he has a knack for getting lane 1. So we'll see if he continues to focus on that or if he decides to come from the outside. But I know in the off-season they were working on some more horsepower and some speed, so don't be surprised if you see some higher speeds from the 11.
And for those of you who follow H1 Unlimited Racing closely, you will think, now, wait a minute. We had a Flavor Pack boat last year out west, and that was the U40. The boat was owned and operated by Kelly and Sharon Stocklin out of the Snohomish area. Kelly decided, and his wife Sharon decided to take the year off, and so Flavor Pack was left without a boat to sponsor. So this is the end result. Yes. Flavor Pack jumped over onto the U11. Scott and Shannon Rainey, the boat looks good. I really like the little softer blue on it. It's not the dark blue of a year ago. It's kind of a softer blue, and that's a colorblind guy saying that. I'm catching on.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You know, I'll just say too, boy, we miss bucket list racing. But yes, glad the Flavor Pack team is still back out here with us, and you know they're going to do some great things with Jamie in the 11.
So we got a first lap speed there. Our fans can see it on the screen, thanks to our stat man, Nick Kish, putting up those graphics. He's got a 157.714, and as I like to say, Brent, all right, if he gets a little quicker on the next two, he's sniffing that 160 mark.
Yeah, we just creep up on it, right? We call it improvement, and so when you're out there, you just want to get a good lay of the course, and then you probably laps 2 and 3 step on it a bit more. So we'll see if that comes true.
So we see Dave Villwock's speed on the screen there on the pylon, 161.527. That was lap number 3. That was his quick one. Here comes Nilsen to put 2 in the books. He gets the white flag, got 1 more to go. Boat looks great. He's got it up out of the water. He's playing it beautifully. That's
what I was just thinking. You know, when we saw them in testing, we definitely saw a bit more bouncing around, definitely a lot smoother race course for sure.
So he is off the corner now. Like this is lap number 3. Great shot there from the drone as he goes up the backstretch. Our water conditions and weather conditions here about 45 minutes ago, it was starting to look a little dicey when our Grand Prix were running.
It was.
But it has calmed down right now, and right now I'd say the conditions are very, very good. Our flag man out front is holding up a white flag, now put the checker flag up, but that flag basically isn't moving.
Yeah, it's just hanging there, which is good. This is what we want.
So here comes Jamie, a nice corner off the top end. First lap was 157.7. The next one, 158.4. Could he get to the 160 mark? Jamie Nilsen, Flavor Pack.
Yep, solid run by Jamie, and the team's got to be happy with that.
See what they come in with. We'll get it on the screen. 159.371. 159.371. Again, now the boats have to go through tech inspection.
They do.
Seth Parshall, he will be busy there in the tech truck. I delivered him a big monitor this morning so he can see all the data on the screen.
Yeah.
But he will now check, and as soon as we get word on these speeds and these times, we'll hope to get Dave Villwock's first. and then we'll follow that with Jamie Nilsen.
Yep.
I'm not sure when Andrew Tate and the U91 will get to come back out again. They said he'd come back out and run again, but I don't know where they're going to stick him in the ladder. We'll just kind of have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, not sure, but we know he'll be ready.
Oh, he's always ready.
That's right. That's right. And that team, too. Boy, there's been a lot of just work in the off season, with the new team and getting things together. I know they want to defend, and so it's a big deal, and they know people are coming for them. So a lot building up to this.
Well, and if you're going to strap yourself in one of these things, and it's not just an unlimited hydroplane, a Grand Prix, a dirt bike, a car, sprint car, anything. If you're not a competitor at heart, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And boy, if Tanner was here too, he would talk about all the other motorsports and how they compare. And I love that we're having conversations about car racing and boat racing and how they are similar. And I think those things are important because the fans love the same thing, which is that competitive spirit.
And at the end of the day, the technology of the vehicle may be different. We're on water, they're on a track. It's and maybe it's an airplane, an air racing. The technology there may be different, but there's also a lot of similarities. But I think the similarities are really most magnified, and I'm asking this in the form of a question, in the cockpit.
Yeah.
You all are cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
You want to go fast, you want to race, you want the
fast,
competitive experience.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's when we talk to car racers like, man, I'm so impressed with what you all do. And I think we feel the same way. So I think it's important just to share those stories and also share those fans.
Well, we have our next boat up and away. I'm going to assume that this is going to be J. Michael Kelly, I believe, but somebody's
sure looks like it.
Better eyeballs and
my eyeball is saying 99.999%. That is J. Michael Kelly coming out on the course, and he looks good.
How about that look there from the drone? It's a long way. That's a big body of water coming across.
Yeah, and I'm excited for people to see the drone footage that we have. We have some drones this year that go over 100 miles an hour.
We do.
Yeah, that's going to be really impressive to be able to keep up with the boats at speed at some point, and I think I hear one in my ear right now.
You do indeed, as he takes off and heads out toward the race course, but it is indeed the U8 J. Michael Kelly. Young man out of Bonnie Lake, finished carpenter by trade, boat racer by weekend. And
that's right.
You talk about competitors and somebody who just likes to race. This guy's racing every weekend.
Every weekend. If it's not him, it's his sons, and that's really cool to see. So now his youngest son is starting to race too, but Carson's quite a competitor now in the inboards, and it's just fun to see. We were talking a little bit about the Earnhardts. We've got the Kellys. We got some folks that have several generations of drivers, and there's a lot of history there.
We have had 3 occasions where a father and a son have met on the water in an unlimited hydroplane. Most recently, a couple of years ago, when we had Jimmy King and Bobby King
in
the Tri-Cities.
In Grand Prix.
Yep. They were doing it on the unlimited level. At some point, J. Michael's going to have to square off against Carson. I want to be there for that one.
I do too. Yes, I do too. All right,
so here's Mike. We'll get his speed quickly here on the screen. As again, we got that great drone shot exiting turn 1. And that's a view we have never had before. Kelly has turned that first one at 160.344 miles an hour, 160.344. So that's a good run.
Yeah, and they're playing with some things right now. We'll see. You never know with the Strong Racing team if they're putting everything out there, but solid lap. Anytime someone gets over 160, that's a good thing, so keep on pushing.
Yeah, I find it interesting when he goes across start-finish line. Over here on our left, we have boat owner Darrell Strong standing here with Mike Denslow, and he's putting an ear in our dugout to get those speeds.
He
so
is.
If it sounds like we're kind of speaking off the side here to let Darrell know, we are indeed.
That's right.
He'll put 2 in the books. The first one, 160.344 miles per hour. Great boat ride again. This one's quicker. How about that? 161.829. 161.829.
Okay, South's fastest water is heating up.
It is indeed.
Yes, it is.
Heating up. Just like that. Oh, boy, he's just flying that right sponson. I swear nobody can do it like he does.
Yeah, and I was going to say that. You know, I hope people appreciate just how each of the different drivers have different styles. And J. Michael flies the boat like nobody. And when he comes out of the corner and you see the boat hanging like that, that's an art.
It really is. And you might watch for it now, especially with that camera view right there. You might be able to watch the right sponson, see if he doesn't pick it up. Well, that view is going to be difficult to see, but it's a great one there from the drone. But he just picks up that sponson and just hangs it. He got it up a little bit, but didn't hang it too hard.
Yeah.
Second lap was 161.829. How about this? 163.200 miles per hour. And there's your fastest lap during the qualifying so far. Again, tech inspection pending.
Yeah, but I love it that everyone continues to improve lap after lap, and J. Michael just did the same thing. He's a competitor. Yeah, I expect great things from him and that team, but yeah, nice to see the 163 hit on the books there.
And if you like speed like that, I would say whatever you do, I wouldn't go real far right now because
stay close.
Next up on our list, on my list anyway, is Cory Peabody in the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. And we know this boat is fast. And I've had the good fortune, Brent, of emceeing the H1 Unlimited Awards Banquet for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. It's a lot of fun.
Can I say you do a great job at it?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of fun. But Cory Peabody, 2 years ago, he finished second in national high points, and he finished second to teammate JMK. And he made no bones about it. He was not happy.
I don't like it. I don't like second. I don't like it. I was like, yeah, you go, Cory. Yeah.
And he was fortunate enough, or unfortunate, depending on how you look at it, to claim the same prize last year. He was second again, and he walked up to the podium, and he said, he says, if you were at last year's banquet, you know I do not enjoy this one little bit.
And we're doing it again. Yeah.
Here comes a man who is very, very determined.
Yes. Oh, 100%. And, when you go to the Strong Racing shop, boy, the amount of work that he does along with the team, they as soon as the boat was done at the end of San Diego, they were already working on it the next week. And that just shows that dedication for that team. And, there are other teams that do something similar, but I know they were at it right as soon as the season ended.
They did. And I visited their shop, but it was just a month and a half ago, and you could see how hard they had worked during the off season. Both boats were off the trailers and upside down and in various states of repair. And Jeff Campbell, who is, I don't see him, but he's right here in front of us somewhere. I know he's close by.
Yeah.
He never stops.
No.
But again, that's the whole competitor thing.
That is.
You guys, and I say you guys and gals that drive these things at all levels, you're never happy.
No, and you shouldn't be, right? We want to go faster. We want to do better. We know our competitors are continuing to move, so that's our job, to stay on our game.
This guy right here to my left, Darryl Strong, when you say you're keeping us honest and we've got to get better, that's one thing Darryl said was, we're going to make everybody get better.
We are.
And then a year later, he said, they're going to make us get better.
That's right.
And that's the good thing. That's what you got to do. That's the competition. That's what you got to build toward.
Everyone needs a rivalry.
Absolutely.
Yep, everyone needs, and you think back to past rivalries in boat racing or any type of racing. We're gonna have something here, and Guntersville is the first stop. And like you said, boy, we've got Guntersville this weekend, and we got a lot more season to go. So please stay tuned.
Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet because there's a lot more to come. I have good news for you.
Tell me.
I have very good news. Our first official qualifier for the 2025 season is the U27 Miss Apollo Dave Villwock with a fast lap of 161.527 miles per hour. He has passed the tech truck. He's good as gold.
Boy, not surprised. That team is a team of champions, and so.
Oh boy.
Yep, they have really put together an all-star team, and yeah, I'm excited to see what Dave decides to get into this weekend.
So this ought to be fun. Cory Peabody comes off the top end of the race course. He knows his way around this one well. He has won here before. He claimed his first Gold Cup here on Lake Guntersville a few years ago. Cory Peabody driving the U9 to Beacon Plumbing.
Well, that drone just chased him. That was pretty impressive.
It is pretty impressive. That's a good shot going down the front straightaway, and I love this new shot. That is a brand new look that we have not seen before. A backstretch shot in Guntersville, Alabama, and we can't have it because it's so far over to the other side of the lake, but they're parking that drone over there at the exit pin of turn 2. Or turn 1. That's a great look.
Yeah. Boy, and here Cory looks really smooth going back on the backstretch, and we'll see how he rounds his corner. That will make quite a the difference in how his time comes.
Again, water conditions here on Lake Guntersville are beautiful right now.
Yeah, and even with it getting a little cooler, I know that helps with horsepower. So, yeah, looking for some fast times here.
It helps out the announcers, too.
It does. Helps out the announcers a lot, yeah.
All right, here comes Cory. He's got his first one in the books. Now, it's this shot coming up that I really like, but holy cow,
Oh, yeah.
Cory Peabody jumps to the top of the list with a 164.551. 164.551. Again, that's pending the tech truck, but you got to put it on the water first.
Earned a little smile from Darryl Strong over there. He's like, all right, well done. But I know he wants to see more, so here comes the next lap.
Well, and everybody's been stepping up from lap 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So
yeah, I love that.
Are we going to crack a 165 here? Cory Peabody.
He's a hard charger, and I wouldn't be surprised.
He wants to come out and send a message up and down pit row.
That's a nice corner.
In the late afternoon sun, here it is, Cory Peabody with 2 up, 2 down, 1 to go.
Okay.
First lap speed, 164.551.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness,
Yes,
167.563. 167.
Okay, it went from a smile to now his mouth is open.
Yeah.
So that's Darryl Strong over there. Yeah.
Darryl's grinning here a bit.
Yeah.
Cory. He added over 3 miles an hour on that lap from 164.5 to 167.5. He puts 3 more on there. You're going to sniff that 170 mark.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this. He looked really light coming in, into the corner here, so let's see how this one goes. But fingers crossed, we've got another fast lap.
I like his line through that one a little bit better. I think he tightened it up a little bit.
I do too.
Cory Peabody looking to topple 167.561, and it is in the books.
Yeah, he was super light. Let's see if that helped him.
A very successful 169.036.
Yes, sir.
169.
Way to lay it down.
Wow, 169.036. And there is indeed a smile on Mr. Strong's face over there. He's grinning over there.
No, that's that.
How about that?
That was one heck of a lap, and you could tell. I mean, he was really flying the boat, staying off the wing and just trying to let it float as much as he could, and there was the result at 169.
And I would like to ask Cory, because we see an improvement here on all the times from lap 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, but it's been from 157 to 158 and then to 159. It's been incremental of a mile or maybe a mile and a half. He jumped up 3 miles per hour from 1 to 2, then went up almost 3 more again.
Yep.
What did he learn? What happened? What caused him to gain over 5 miles per hour?
Well, definitely, Cory's a great driver, number one, but I'm going to give it to the South's fastest water.
There you go.
It just gets faster and faster every time you go around, and, it's great to see everybody improve.
We're not done.
We're not.
We are not done.
No, we got way more.
So next up on our list, on my list would probably be the 91. I would think this is where the 91 would get staged in because we've been through our list once, but not really once because the 91 had to do it again because of the buoy issue.
Yep.
So I would think this is where they would slot, and judging from the radio man right in front of us, I think that's a pretty good bet.
Yeah, there's a gun show going on over there. He's pretty buff, but he's got a big 91 on the back of his shirt. I do think you're going to see Andrew Tate next.
I think Mr. Gebline's going to be up next.
Yes, sir.
And that being the radio man right here in front of us.
The bug spray came out.
The bug spray did come out.
Yeah,
Better yet, the bug spray came back.
Yes, it did. Yes, it
we
did.
need it.
Yeah. Well, temperatures are starting to drop a bit, and the sun's starting to go down. But boy, we still have a lot more good qualifying to come, and excited for the fans to watch this.
Yeah, there's still a lot more to come here in this qualifying session, and we keep saying it, but these water conditions are just gorgeous right now.
They really are. They really are, and I'm just seeing just a little bit of wind coming on the backside. So we'll see what happens there, and we're just trying to hope for the weather to hold out. We're seeing some dark clouds, but we're holding tight. And there's a little bit of rain.
And I believe I am being told in my ear that the 8 cleared tech inspection.
Yep. Again, not surprised. But I will tell you, during the Tri-Cities test session, I did say, I brought the rain. I'm not bringing this rain. I did not bring this one. This is warm summer rain from the south. And it will go and come. That's the good thing. Our Seattle rain stays. It will go and come. And we got some hand signals going on here.
Well, we were told that the 8 cleared, and I just confirmed that yes, the 8 did clear.
Awesome.
But they ran after the 11. So I would have thought we would have probably heard from the 11 first. So we have our Cracker Jack crew checking that out.
Yep.
And the 11 has cleared. So the 27, the 11, and the 8 have all cleared tech inspection.
Yep.
So that's good news for all of them. And if you're hearing, oh, look what we have.
We have a little bit
dropping,
of rain coming through.
In front of us here, in front of the cameras. I've seen this on broadcast before, and I go, how can they not? How does that happen? I guess now I know.
Yeah, but, you and I are dry.
We are so far.
And actually, our radio person here is dry too. So, yep, this is a good thing. We always prepare for anything, and luckily we were prepared for this.
Yeah, so it's coming down pretty good right now. I'm still going to go back to the fact the water conditions are outstanding.
Yeah, it was interesting. When we were talking to Dave, he was sharing about, even when it rains, it's good to be out in that type of environment. And whether it's the team, whether it's the driver, but having that adversity, it just adds a new challenge, and it's something that you learn to overcome. So when Dave said that, I was like, yeah, boy, that's really smart.
I may have shared this story at the test session, but it's one of my favorite Dave Villwock stories. We were in Detroit, and we were standing up on top of the pit tower, and everything had been shut down because of the wind, and the wind was blowing really nastily across the river and against the current and all this. And all the teams were going, we're not going out.
Yeah.
We are not going to go out and run in this stuff. Dave came up there, and he looked at it, and he says, I've been running here for 20 years.
Yeah.
He goes, I've never seen the wind come from that direction. We're going to put the boat in the water. I'm going to go see what it's like.
Yeah.
And I just thought, there's a guy who wants to know everything there is to know.
He does.
About a race course and racing conditions and his boat. And so far, we're staying dry.
Yeah, so far we are. The boats probably are not, but the driver hopefully is. And then, the main thing is just keeping the fog down in the windshield. You just want to make sure.
How's Jimmy Gebline doing? You staying dry?
Jimmy, so far so good.
He's nodding his head.
Yeah.
The issue that we have isn't so much the rain, although that was pretty heavy, but we cannot fly a drone.
That is a true statement.
We cannot fly a drone in the rain. So that's going to shut us down on some level. We could still qualify and so forth if it wasn't raining too bad. It doesn't stop the boats as much as it does stop the drones.
It doesn't. But boy, that southern rain, all right, it's already starting to dissipate. We're already starting to see some sun to our left. I wouldn't be surprised if we were back on the water sooner than we think.
Well, I'm being told that the weather app that you and I both have here, the one that's standing over there,
yep.
The weather app tells us that this cell should be through and gone within 11 minutes.
Okay.
So, and you know what? He's the
he's
stat man.
right.
I believe in him.
Yeah, I do not bet against the stat man ever.
Don't do that.
Nope.
You're going to lose. It's going to cost you if you do. So we are just waiting from a qualifying standpoint to find out if Cory Peabody in the U9 cleared tech inspection. We'll have that just as soon as we know, because he had that hot lap of 169.036.
Yeah, he was flying the boat. Yep.
Wow. It was very impressive. And just like that.
Do you hear it?
I don't.
Do you see it?
I don't.
Okay. Well.
And it got quiet.
I love it. I love it. Well, just like that, we're almost back in business, but you and I can keep talking.
We're going to keep talking.
That's right.
It's been we got here bright and early this morning.
We did.
And there was not a cloud in the sky.
No.
And we always say that at boat races, that, we're wasting all this beautiful water out here. Let's go out and run. But that wasn't on the schedule and how it read. And you and I and Erica went over and attended a driver's meeting, which was very good.
Yeah.
And I guess if there's a disappointing thing that has occurred so far today, it is that we haven't yet seen the U6, the Miss Madison, on the water.
Yep.
And I had an opportunity to talk with that team last night. I talked with Kyle Bipes, and as I mentioned, I talked to Brandon Kennedy yesterday. They are so excited for what they have done, and they should be. They have worked so hard.
Yep.
I interviewed Brandon Kennedy in the pit area yesterday, and we were the only people in the pit area. There was a crane in there. The boat was there. They tipped it down, and then there was our film crew.
Yep.
And we got an opportunity to talk to the team and the crew about little things that you would never think of that they found in that boat. You just don't know.
That's right.
And they had to take it from stem to stern, but they did, and they've caught everything. But I guess it's not a big surprise that maybe they didn't catch everything because there was a gremlin or two still sitting there that precluded them from coming out this morning.
It's a good piece. It's just, this is racing. You've talked to Daryl, or you talk to the 91 team, any of the teams, they'll tell you like how much work it takes to get a boat on the water, and especially if it hasn't been on the water. So when I think of those top 1 through 8 boats, there's been a lot of work done to those. If a boat's been sitting off the water for a while, it takes some time to just figure out all the little things, and that's okay. We're going to be here rooting for Brandon when he's ready.
Absolutely. And the asking the team, what are the goals for the weekend?
Yeah.
What do they want to do? And they said it's very simple. They wanted to, in a perfect world, they would leave here with a qualified driver.
Yes.
Qualified driver and a boat in one piece.
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted. And they can still get there. It's going to be difficult now because their opportunities to run those 15 laps they're dwindling. There will be a test session tomorrow and Sunday. And they do have another possibility of running here this afternoon, but that'll only be a 3-lap run because that would be a qualifying run.
Yeah.
So
they'll make time. I know a little bit about this because I remember, them giving us extra time when we had some gearbox challenges, and this is what boat racing is all about. We want to see new drivers in the sport, and a great one in Brandon Kennedy. Did a great job in the Grand Prix, and now we just are waiting for him to get in the Unlimited, and he'll get there.
I can honestly say, and I know there's people out listening along the H1 waves. There's some all the way back in Oklahoma that are listening that know that I have been pining for Brandon Kennedy to get his shot for quite some time.
Yes.
And you know what? I got news for you. I got news that came in my ear.
Hit it.
Erica Allreed reports from the pit area that they have successfully trailer fired the U6, the Miss Madison.
That's
so
what we
that's
wanna
good
hear.
news.
That's great news.
They got to fire it up on the trailer before they can get it out on the water.
Yep.
He's Brent Hall. I'm Brad Luce. We hope you are enjoying H1 Unlimited's coverage here. We're just waiting, I think. I'm not quite sure really what we're waiting for. The rain has stopped. The water's great. We actually, out in front of us, we have a green flag.
Yep.
So we might be good to go.
Okay, well, while you're waiting, I'm going to say one more thing about Brandon Kennedy.
Yes,
sir. We love an underdog, and so does the city of Madison. So great to see how that city is rallying behind him. If you watch this Facebook post, you can see just the progress that team made in a short amount of time. So, to have them here and, making a swing at it, this is a great thing.
Well, I'm going to take it one step further.
Take it.
Because I don't know how I missed this during the rain, but if you look right in front of us off the end of this thing, I count 1, 2, 3 Miss Madison Racing shirts right in front of us. So
yes, you do.
There are Madison folk here. That's always a good sign. We're going to get that boat on the water. I'm going to expect that if that boat comes out here and runs 3 laps, and I don't care at any speed, there's going to be some very happy and hooting and hollering people, and there certainly should be.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, you and I might do some dancing. Who knows? But, yeah, I tell you what, no, we're all cheering for Brandon, want to see him get it done, and it sounds like, and just seeing the shirts, we might be getting closer.
That's my old line. I can always tell who's coming out next. Just look who's standing over here from the radio standpoint. And I completely missed all 3 of these people here. So go get them, Madison. Get that thing in the water and let's let her go.
Yep.
So we're getting there. I think we're ready to roll. Is the 91 coming? Is that
That's
what you caught from
I just
Jimmy?
heard? I just heard that from the stat man. The 91 is next, and
then
radio man is in position.
And that would make sense that they should be next to go, and that will be then the first time through the ladder. The 6 did not get to run. They passed, so they would be, again, at the top of the ladder the second time through. So it'll be the 91, then the 6.
Yes.
And we'll all cross our fingers.
Yeah, fingers and toes. Let's get it.
Now, earlier today, you and I had a conversation that was not broadcast, but we were talking about a man by the name of Mr. Miyagi.
Oh,
if you look to your right, you will see our good friend Jerry Hop here has shown up.
I do see Mr. Miyagi. Now, he's coming my way. Look out.
If he's true to form, he's got some beef jerky over there for us from the...
Yes. The old Trapper beef jerky comes every race. Every race. I'm not worried about it. He's got a ton, and what a great sponsor, an Old Trapper.
It's a great sponsor.
Yep.
And they've been on board here for a few years. I don't know how many, but yeah, it's on the side of the boat there and been on the decks, and I think it's in permanent paint now.
It is. It is.
It's good.
Let's keep them going for a long time, and excited to see Greg get out there and go do his stuff.
In a boat that you know.
I do know it a little bit. Yes, I had Mr. Miyagi in my ear, and I had raced the GP15 off and on for about 6-7 years. So definitely a big part of my family, and always glad to see that team.
And Brent Hall and I are just waiting for the 91 to come out on the race course and continue our qualifying session here. In the meantime, we're having a little fun with Jerry Hop here, who's off to our side and can hear everything we're saying. And so one of the great names in boat racing at all levels is the Hop family. And it's always good to have you around. There he is.
Yes,
he's clapping over there.
He's like, yep. Man can still drive the heck out of a boat, too. In his 70s, I told you got to squeeze his arms. Yeah, he's got.
Oh, he just corrected us. It's 78.
I said 70s, so I was right.
70s, you were there.
But 78 is the true answer, yeah. Yeah, he's like, who's counting?
Who's counting?
Yeah.
Well, apparently he is.
Yeah,
he had the number.
Yeah. Okay, 78.5. Just like when you were a kid, I'm 3.5. I got it.
I was just about to mention that, hoping to hear about the U9. We just did. Good news, the U9 has cleared the truck. That 169.036 will stand.
Yeah, not surprised.
So how about that?
These teams have been working hard. Not surprised at all.
So everybody has cleared that has run. We have 6 H1 Unlimiteds in the pit area. We've had 4 that ran legally.
Yep.
We had the 91 run, but they were on a course that was missing a buoy, so that didn't count, and then the 6 didn't get out. So our 4 boats that have run, we'll get the pylon up on the screen here shortly, and we'll have it when we get the 91 on the water. But our fastest qualifier so far is the U9 with Cory Peabody with a cleared tech spec lap of 169.036 miles per hour.
It's moving.
Second, right behind him, is his teammate, J.
Yeah.
Michael Kelly, in the U8 at 163.200. And then it's back to the U27, the Miss Apollo, Dave Villwock, 161.527. Rounding out our 4 boats that ran and all cleared tech inspection, the U11, the Flavor Pack, with a fast lap. It was his third one, 159.371. So some good speeds.
Yeah, good speeds, all pretty tight together. It's again, it's gonna be a good weekend.
And this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
And we talk about it. This is our opportunity to earn points.
Yep.
And it's the first opportunity to earn points as we've got a boat away from the dock, and I see Mr. Gebline's arm moving forward. I'm assuming that is Andrew Tate in the U91.
Yeah, I think that's a really
away
good
from
assumption.
the water.
Yep.
Or away from the dock. He was out here before. Now it's interesting to look back at the speeds that he turned, because he turned a fast lap at 164.5.
Yep.
But man, and Cory went out and turned every head in the pit area with a 169 that also went on and cleared tech inspection.
Agreed.
So that's even better.
It is, and again, I think looking at the water, we got some really good water for Andrew too. Let's see what he does with the same thing.
Well, we know he too is a competitor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So look at that wide drone shot we've got on our screen there, looking in again to that late afternoon. So that's a beautiful shot right there.
Yep.
Guys in the truck, congratulations, and drone pilots. Boy, there's a shot we haven't had. Isn't that something?
What legends are made of. I love it.
It really is. So here comes Andrew. He is off the top end of the race course, and he will come down to put him on a clock. Andrew Tate, the U91, the Goodman Real Estate.
Yeah, really nice level boat ride going by us. That right sponson picked up just slightly, but just how you want it.
The boat, as I said, looks just like it did a year ago with the same driver, the same crew chief, a lot of the same people turning the wrenches. The boat is in the same shop as it used to be in Tukwila, Washington, but the boat is under new ownership. BWR Racing and
Yes.
Bruce Ratchford. That's the big change, but one change that doesn't seem to be happening is the boat's still fast.
Yes, it's still fast, and boy, glad to have Bruce Ratchford on board, and he's doing a lot of amazing things for the sport. We're going to talk about that even more this weekend.
We are going to talk a lot about it because I'm going to give everybody a homework assignment that when the hydroplanes come to your town, make a point of meeting Bruce Ratchford.
That's right.
You will not be disappointed. He is a character, and he is all in on H1 racing.
Okay, first lap. We'll see where we're at.
Andrew Tate got the first one in the books. We'll pop it up on, oh my goodness, 169.083.
Out of the gate. Wow.
There is your fastest lap. That topped Cory's fast one by a hair, but oh my goodness.
And let's see if he keeps that same tradition of let's build on top of every lap. We might see that.
We just might. And now it is time to pull out my orange book.
Oh, the bucket list racing book you got to find. It's
47 thousandths of a mile per hour faster.
Wow, that's close.
We're looking for a 171 as the course record.
I think we might see it. I think we might see a 170. I think we might see a 170.
170.888.
Okay, my prediction's been on today. Yeah, I'm telling you what. Yeah, that was a good lap. That was a good lap, and you could tell just the way Andrew was coming through. He took a really good line, and I'm not surprised that was a 170. And again, you know, we've seen people build lap upon lap upon lap, and we'll see if Andrew does it again and see if he can best that 170.888.
170.888. We talk about records on this race course. A couple of years ago, it was Dustin Eccles out here in bucket list racing with a 171.274. Can Andrew get there? Look at him pick up the right side.
My goodness.
Oh, did he fly it across start finish line.
There's going to be something there, buddy. You don't fly it like that.
171.040.
Yep.
How close can you get and not get there?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. We went through some weather and some heat and some wind and some rain, but that was worth sticking around for.
We knew that was coming. That was quite a lap, and he hung that thing out there for a good 2 seconds. That outside sponson was up.
Wow.
That was his first run. Yeah, that's the plan, depending on time.
I know Dustin's got to be watching this and go, that was close.
And there is a reason we call him the stat man.
Yes, why?
That's because that speed that was just run by Andrew Tate is 254 thousandths of a mile per hour slower than Dustin did. Now that's the stat man coming through.
That is detail. That is attention to detail like nobody else. I love it.
Wow.
He was moving.
171.040. And that picture that our fans are looking at on the screen there of Andrew Tate, you might think that picture was taken just a couple of minutes ago in the cockpit when they relayed that speed to him, but it wasn't. But wow, what a good run. Now again, we have to caution that. You got to go through tech inspection.
Yep.
But
yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm sure he's smiling ear to ear just like you said on that picture, but yeah, really good to see.
And I would love to be standing in the strong racing pit next to Cory Peabody.
Yeah.
As that was getting laid down.
No, you don't. No, you don't want to be next to Cory during that. Well, actually, true. I think Cory is really, what he cares about is who wins this race. But he's a competitor just like we were talking about. And I know no one likes to get bested. And he's done it to others before, too. I know he picked up a couple fast laps the last time we were out here. And was top qualifier. So, yeah, he knows how it goes both ways.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. 171.040. He is not on top of the qualifying ladder yet because he hasn't cleared tech inspection.
Yes, yes.
That belongs to Cory Peabody at 169.036. But if he can clear, wow. And now the big story, now the discussion turns to Miss Madison again.
Yeah.
This is, as you've been talking about, this is a team, this is a town, this is a community that has been involved with unlimited hydroplane racing since way back in the early 1950s. You can actually trace boat racing back much further than that. But they got their first boat back in 1961 when Sam DuPont donated his boat to the city. And it just started from there, and it started this wonderful love affair with the city of Madison, Indiana, to the point where it ended up at one point we had a full-length feature motion picture starring Jim Caviezel. There you go, playing the part of Jim McCormick. And it's just really, really big stuff.
Yep.
And for a while, for quite a while, a number of months, the conventional wisdom was we would not have a boat owned by the city of Madison, Indiana on the race course in 2025. But we do, and it's through the hard work and dedication of a lot of people in that town. The mayor, Kyle Bipes, the people that are working on the boat. I mean, they had every possible hitch thrown at them. They're bringing the boat home, and they didn't have the bolts and the cowling, and they lost the cowling. They never found it on the highway.
Oh, my gosh.
And they went back and looked for days, and they never found it. There's an H1 Unlimited cowling floating around somewhere.
That's right. Well, I know we got another boat on the water. We're going to call that Madison 2025, the movie. But now we got Dave Villwock up.
Yeah, Dave Villwock is back in the U27, the Miss Apollo. Dave is already on our list with a tech-cleared 161.527. Dave walking the sponsons a little. No, Dave walking the sponsons a lot as he comes across start-finish here. Starts the first of 3 times around.
That was one of the things he was talking to us about, is every time the boat rocks like that and sponson walks, it's scrubbing a little bit of speed off. So he probably backed out of it, is trying to float it out because he really wants it to ladder straight up, and that's the look that you're looking for.
So here goes Dave underneath the drone shot up the backstretch. Now, we have a new rule this year in H1 racing. Actually, it's not a new rule. It's what we call a competition directive from a year ago, but we have adopted it as a rule now that a boat must run 3 consecutive laps to qualify, one of which must be over 130 miles an hour.
Yes.
But in a situation like this where Dave has already checked that box and is qualified, he can go out now, and if he laid down a 174, he could go back to the pit area only having turned 1 lap.
With a big smile.
With a big smile.
Yeah.
And there was some discussion about that. I'll even say there was a little bit of controversy about that a year ago. A competition directive was drawn up, and that competition directive has now become part of the rule book, and Dave didn't care for that particular idea. He said, yeah, I'm running another one.
Yep.
You know, Dave, he likes to drive this thing.
He does. He sure does. Anytime he can get in the boat, he's out there.
Dave Villwock driving the U27, the Miss Apollo, the boat owned by Bruce Ratchford out of the Tri-Cities and his company, Apollo Mechanical. He does not want the boat called Apollo Mechanical. The boat is Miss Apollo.
Miss Apollo, okay.
He grew up as a young lad, and a big impression made upon him when they landed on the moon in the Apollo space program. Thus, Miss Apollo. First lap was 163.342. That one comes in at 164.221. So he's ticking it up the ladder a little bit.
He is, but boy, he had to loosen it up to get that. I tell you what, that was getting pretty light in that front stretch going into the corner. Yeah, that outside sponson's bouncing pretty hard there.
Yeah, he doesn't have the stable boat ride that we saw with a couple of the guys.
No, and the other thing you'll hear us say is sometimes it feels like maybe he's running uphill a little bit, so just definitely catching more air. And, you know, that team, though, they're going to make tweaks, and they're watching this, and, you know, it'll be a different boat ride when we see it next.
So in his first qualification attempt, his quick speed was a lap at 161. He's topped that twice. Lap 2 was 164.221. He kind of flashes the bottom there a little bit, floats that right sponson, but he puts the 3rd lap in the book.
Yep. Yeah, kept improving. We're always improving here in the South's fastest water. You see it.
We got it 165.119, 165.119 miles per hour for Dave Villwock. And we all said back in the day when Dave was driving a Budweiser and driving for Bernie Little and so forth, Dave was the best flyer around.
He still is.
And,
He's
you know,
man.
he hasn't lost that knack. It still puts your heart in your throat when he picks it up sometimes. But he can fly the race boat. And, of course, anytime your boat's touching the water, you're creating friction, you're slowing the boats down. We have some good news from the pit area again. I'm just full of good news. That's because I can hear in that one ear and you can't.
That's
so
okay.
I kind of cheat with this a little bit.
I like the surprise. You can see the surprise on my face. It's all good. Yeah.
But you see, I have Erica indirectly giving me messages through the stat man over there. And she has advised Nick that the cranes are moving toward the U6, the Miss Madison.
I was hoping that was the good news you were talking about. Not that you saved a bunch of money in your car insurance.
No.
Okay. All right. Got it.
That was good. That was good. So we are here at Lake Guntersville in Guntersville, Alabama. It is the 2025 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest, and it's the race for the Southern Cup.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to pull that cup out here in a couple days. It's going to, and everything for a new fan who may be watching for the first time.
Yeah.
And go, well, these boats are really, really cool.
Yes.
But what in the world are we doing here exactly? Well, in the sport of unlimited hydroplane racing, everything builds toward the winner-take-all final heat on Sunday afternoon. And it starts with testing, and we had that this morning. And then we go qualifying, and you start earning some points there. And you start building points through the weekend because the boats with the most points are the ones that get to run on the front row of the final heat.
Yep.
After we go qualifying, then we're going to go heat racing. And the boats get drawn into sections of the heat, and how you finish in that heat determines how many points you get. You get 400 for first, 300 for second, 225 for third, 169, and on and on.
Yep.
After we get done with all of our heat racing toward the middle of the day on Sunday, we tally up all the points.
Yep.
And the boats with the most points, the top 5 point getters on the weekend, they are on the front row of the final. We go 5 laps, throw the points out the window. It's a winner-take-all final. So everything builds toward Sunday afternoon.
I love that. You know, that's worth a rewind on YouTube because it's just good to get the education. You know, I don't know a lot about baseball, but when someone sat down and explained to me how the stats work and everything, how it all is happening, it makes it much more exciting. So that behind the scenes is what the fans really need to hear that may have never heard that before.
And I would encourage fans that may be watching this for the first time or are brand new. I mentioned to you earlier today, Brent, that I ran into a couple of new fans last night. They'd never been here before.
Yeah.
And the question was so simple of, sir, can you tell me on this boat, where is the motor?
Yeah.
They didn't know where the motor was.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Happy to tell you.
And I loved it. I just loved it. This was a brand new fan. Oh, yeah. It was a little girl with her mom, and her dad later showed up. And I'm a sucker for that anyway, a brand new fan. And so I was showing them, and we got driver autographs with Bobby King. But that's what it's all about. And so I would encourage new fans, if you're watching us on YouTube for the first time or throughout this weekend, reach out to H1 Unlimited.
Right.
Go to the H1 Unlimited Facebook page and ask a question. There's a lot of people that have a lot of information and a lot of answers. We are not the only ones here that know this stuff. There's a lot of people that do. And ask questions, because I really think you'll find there's people out there that are anxious to help. And if by chance you live somewhere where we come and we bring our road show to your town,
come see
come
us.
down and come to the pit area and find a driver, find an owner, find somebody in an H1 blue shirt and ask them a question, because they will talk your ear off if you want.
Yeah, hey, we at H1, we're about magic moments. And so when a kid comes up, if we can give a fan an experience they'll never forget, they'll be fans for life. And if you talk to some of the fans that have been fans for years, 40, 50 years, there was that one person who made a difference in that person's experience, and then it just carried on.
Absolutely. That's such a very true statement, that we all have somebody.
Right. Someone
and I know I sure do.
I do too.
And it was when I was very, very young, and it's great stuff.
It is.
And that person's long since gone, but I still think of that person, and every time I watch a boat go, I think of that individual, and it is important. And so good stuff there, a great story. I've got some other camera angles that I'm looking at here in the pit area.
What you got?
And I'm just trying to see. I haven't yet seen one that shows the 6 coming off the trailer.
That's okay. It's the suspense.
I know.
No,
I'm
that's
trying to find it here, but
I can tell it's coming because I see cameras out from the 6 team. They're getting ready to do some stuff. So, yeah, historic moment for Brandon coming up.
Yeah, it sure is. I just caught a glimpse there. Dave has not yet returned to the dock. He's very close, but he's not yet quite back there. So I am Brad Luce. This is Brent Hall, and we are doing our best to cover the 2025 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest and the race for the Southern Cup. It's the first stop on the H1 Unlimited Tour for 2025. We've got other stops coming up along the way. In fact, let's take a look at the schedule.
Yeah,
I actually have one right here. How about that? We are here this weekend, June 6th through the 8th in Lake Guntersville for the Southern Cup in Guntersville, Alabama. Then on the 4th of July weekend, that is always fun. We go to Madison, Indiana, and if you haven't been to Madison, Indiana and attended the parade and gone to the fireworks show, that is the true show of what H1 Unlimited hydroplane racing is, because H1 Unlimited is so much more than what happens out here on the water. Right. It is a community festival. And you go to Madison, and there's no place that showcases it any better now with the parade and all that good stuff. It is awesome. So
the town lights up.
That'll happen on July the 4th through the 6th. It's the Indiana Governor's Cup, and the governor will be there. He gives out the trophy each year. Then on July the 25th through the 27th, it's our big race of the year. We go to the Tri-Cities of Washington, and that is for the APBA Gold Cup, and you will learn in time. I will say this conservatively 100 times during each summer.
101.
It is the oldest active motorsports trophy in the world.
That's right.
And when you say that a couple of times and let it sink in, that's really something.
It's a big deal.
And it was first contested in 1904. So it's the oldest, and the key word there is active.
That's right.
There are a couple of older trophies, but it's a motorsports trophy, and it's still active. And so anyway, it's the oldest active motorsports trophy, and it is the big one. This is the big prize, and you want to get your name on that trophy at least once. And we'll have a number of Dave Villwock has his name on there many times. Cory Peabody got his second. J. Michael Kelly's got his second. And that will be a big one. That comes up the July 25th through 27th. That's the APBA Gold Cup in the Tri-Cities. Then a week later, we go over the Cascade Mountain Range to the Pacific Northwest and the Puget Sound Basin for the Seattle Seafair, which we first started in The Seafair celebration actually began in 1950, but we had our first race there in 1951 when the Seattle boys went back to Detroit and stole the Gold Cup from the Detroit contingent that had it. And in those days,
we see some tears from some Detroit
he and I get into
there.
this every once in a while, but back in those days, the team that won the Gold Cup, the yacht club that they represented, was given the right to host the following year's Gold Cup. And it created one of the greatest rivalries in sports, not just boat racing, but there was I will say a 5-year for sure, but there was almost a 10-year history there where it was a rivalry that, I mean, and it got fierce. It got fierce, you know, the Detroiters were stealing it, and Seattle were cheaters. And it was great stuff, and the sport really grew at that time. It was really the heyday of the sport. So that'll be the Apollo Mechanical Cup at the Seattle Seafair on August 1st through the 3rd, and then we round out the season with the Bill Munsey Cup. No bigger name in our sport than Bill Munsey, September 12th through the 14th. The Bill Munsey Cup in sunny San Diego, and I tell people, you want to go to that boat race, you can put your toes in the pure white sand of Mission Bay and watch hydroplanes. It doesn't get any better than that.
Boy, so true, so true. Hey, and a San Diego guy who is going to be driving a boat at Seafair, Jimmy Johnson. Wow, how cool is that? And he posted on H1 Unlimited today that, you know, he took a picture on the back of the 79 Atlas, and, you know, that was one of those magic moments for him, and now he's going to get a chance to drive that same boat at Seafair after doing everything that he's done in NASCAR and other sports. So that's going to be legendary too.
It is. I'm told that is going to happen on Friday at Seafair, and I just got the thumbs up from Mr. Denslow here. So that's going to happen Friday at Seafair. You're going to want to be down there for that. That is a big deal, and there's a big story behind all that, and it will be an awful lot of fun. But again, I've had that little magic voice in my ears, and I'm getting all this breaking news
that I don't get. So tell us, please tell us.
I know you're going to pay our stat man big money to get you hooked up here. But I do have big news, that being that the U91 has cleared the tech truck. So the 171.040 that Andrew went out and laid down, it's golden. It's good as gold. It's going to stand.
Yeah, his radio person came by and gave us the thumbs up, and I was pretty sure that's what it meant, but I'm glad you have the verified number. So yeah,
that is a good indicator as well.
It's good.
And it looks now as though, if I look around, it appears as though we have Kyle Bipes. We do. We have Kyle Bipes from Madison, Indiana, has come over here in front of the judges' tower. So now we've got even more Miss Madison white and yellow shirts.
Yeah, I would just say the party is starting to congregate. Getting ready for Brandon to get out there.
Well, there's an awful lot of anticipation here for this, and it's been such a big story in the off-season. It was the story of the off-season, the sale of the assets of Miss Madison Racing, everything. I mean, the shop, everything, all the gear, the boats, the truck, the hauler. And it was, well, a lot of people can't truly understand that, and we're probably in that same boat until something like that happens. And I think back to the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah.
When they got ripped out from the Seattle fan base.
You're killing me.
It's hard.
Me, man.
It's hard.
Come on.
And you can only imagine for these folks in Madison.
Yeah.
They had their team, their boat, their heroes just taken away from them.
Yeah.
And it's so good that there's been a group back that has said, we've got to make this right. We've got to make it happen. And they did.
Yes.
And they did. And we are about to see the fruits of that. I believe the boat is in the water. And indeed it is. I just got a camera look here.
Okay.
The boat is in the water.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to say this is Miss Madison movie 2025.
I like it.
It's really exciting to see, and definitely the town of Madison is behind Brandon and the entire team. So we just want to see them get out there and get some laps.
And the other thing I would say to Madisonians, if that's a proper term, I think it is.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah, I think that's right. But to Madisonians, I would say, if you do not yet know or have not yet had an opportunity to meet Brandon Kennedy, trust me, he gets it.
He's your guy.
He understands. Forget the boat racing, forget setup, forget all of that. He gets Madison, Indiana. He gets the community's involvement in this, and he has a great respect, and that's the best word I can come up with. He has a great respect for the tradition and the history of Madison, Indiana. He'll be a good driver for them.
I agree. I got to shake his hand earlier today, and I could just tell the moment was upon him, and he was really taking it all in. So this is going to be a great moment for him.
It's going to be a very big moment, and I'm catching only quick glimpses on another camera, but the boat is definitely in the water, and it also appears as though pretty much everybody, if you are in the pit area, it's starting to look like you are either on the dock or where you can see the boat in the water. I think it's garnering an awful lot of attention there. So sorry about our fade there. I'm assuming that we lost our signal.
Yeah, not sure if it affected you, but it affected us. And if it did affect you, we apologize. We're working on some things, but it'll just continue to get better.
This was our good crew back in the truck right behind us.
Yes, it was.
And these guys are already showing us some really good stuff here with our drone shots and our graphic screens that are coming up. They've been working hard to create those. I know there's been people staying up late at night till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning making graphics after they do their day job.
Yeah.
And then they're building graphics. So we hope you appreciate it. It's only going to get better. You haven't seen anything yet.
And just thanks for the grace. I know we've had some hiccups, but we're working through all that.
Yep.
We'll make it good.
This is going to be something very, very special. It's the 2025 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest and the race for the Southern Cup. I'm Brad Luce. That is Brent Hall. He's the real smart guy, and I try and do the play-by-play, and you got all the color good stuff to go.
Hey, brother from another mother. we work well together. I love it.
I can tell you right now there is a particular individual in the Tri-Cities who is laughing and shaking her head. That would be my wife. She gets a kick out of it every time you say that.
Absolutely.
And I know she's listening back home. So, darling, it's going to be good. We're going to have the Madison out here very quickly.
Yeah, no, definitely glad, we have people chiming in from all over the world. So hopefully they're loving these stories, and we'll continue to bring them.
That's it. And right now the story is Madison, Indiana. The H1 Unlimited focus is squarely on that little town of 13,000 people.
Yeah.
I remember when I was very young, I had my idols were hydroplane drivers. I remember Chip Hanauer came over to our house one time for dinner.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So he came over, and my kids were really young, and they really thought it was cool, and I enjoyed talking to him and getting to know him. And I said, I've never been back east. I said, I've never been back to any of the boat races back east. And now, back then, we were running in Evansville. We were running in Washington, D.C. on the Potomac. And I said, if I could only go back east and go to one race, what do I do? And he said, you go to Madison.
Yeah.
He said, you just have to go sample that little town. And it is something indeed very special.
Yeah, you nailed it. I went back with the hop racing team, and we brought the white GP, and bringing that boat through the parade just is on another level.
It is.
I think we got out and did a little dancing and stuff with the crowd, and passed out goodies. But that town really embraces the boat racing and that parade in a way that I've never seen before. I just felt truly like I was at home, and being welcomed in after I'd been gone for years.
Yeah, and if you do go to Madison, and it is the first, don't skip the parade.
Do not
and do not skip the fireworks.
Yeah.
Especially if you go to Madison for the first time in 2025 with this boat and this effort and this team and everything that they have done. I'm being told in my ear that they're having a hard time getting a candle lit. I see Kyle Bipes is now stepping up onto the tower.
Hey, what do they say? Good things come to those who wait. So we're patiently waiting.
That's the second time you've said that today.
I'm gonna say it again. I'll say it again if we need to say it again. Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. So I don't think you can dash the hopes of this group, but we'll just keep an eye on it and get information that we can.
Okay, so thank you. Yeah, it sounds like we may be bringing our Three Musketeer partner, Erica Allreed, and she'll be with Goodman here in a minute.
Very, very good. There is a camera feed down here that I'm looking at, and I see her standing by with Andrew Tate. Are we supposed to send down to her now?
Yeah, it's going to come here in a minute, but yes. Yeah, I will. I'll give you the send down, and we'll be ready here in a minute with Erica and Goodman and Andrew and all the goodness.
I'll let you throw it down when Cory gives you the word.
I will. Okay. Erica?
I know. And it's quiet. Andrew's so close to Dustin Eccles' qualifying record here in Guntersville. Tell me about that effort, and did it feel as good as it looked out there?
Yeah, it felt.
Haven't had. Isn't that something?
The legends are made of.
And they'll put him on a clock. Andrew Tate, the U91, the Goodman real estate. Come to your town, make a point of meeting Bruce.
Okay, it's back to us, Brad.
Well, we had Erica there for a moment.
We did, and it was looking like a great interview. We were about to hear from Andrew Tate and his excitement about getting so close to Dustin's record. But, yeah, I'm sure we'll get that recorded, and we'll get that out to everybody.
Yeah, I'd be anxious to hear what he had to say about it. I'm sure he would be very, very pleased. But like you guys and what we've been saying, you always want to go faster.
Yep.
So we almost had that. And for those of you that have never been here to Guntersville, but I think on some of the drone shots that we've shown, you start to get an understanding of just how big this body of water is right here. When we show those boats coming away from the pit area, it's a long way to come over here. So far that this morning it was confirmed at the drivers' meeting that our boats will not be allowed out on the race course when we're racing at the 5-minute mark. Instead, they'll let them come out at the 6-minute mark, and so they can stop and have lunch on the way over or something.
I'm telling you, yeah, you really can. Now, I will say I just heard in my ear we got a little bit of lightning coming our way, so I don't know how that's going to affect us on the course. But
you see the rescue boats are scrambling.
Yeah, it does sound like boats are getting off the water for now. So, Brad, it might be just up to me and you to talk a little bit more and have some fun too.
Yeah, the black flag has gone up, and our safety and rescue personnel are now heading off the water. So we are on an official delay. We're on an official hold. We do not know for how long. As soon as we get any information from our officials, we will pass that along. We do have folks up on the official tower. We've been laughing and joking about the stat man up there, but he keeps us up.
No,
keeps us up and apprised on what's going on.
Keeps us in business, doesn't he?
He does indeed.
Yeah. Yep.
Apparently, they were unable to get the candle lit in the U6, the Madison. So it looks like most of the people with the Madison colors on have bailed. Of course, it's starting to look like most everybody has bailed here.
Yeah. But what I will say is, you know what's going to happen tonight. There's going to be so many teams coming over to help the Madison team figure out what's going on, and tomorrow's a new day for that if he doesn't get back on the water today.
You know, I really like that you brought that up because I think it's a really good point, and it's what I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier about you guys being competitors.
Yeah.
Whether you're driving boats or airplanes or cars, it doesn't make any difference. But the other piece to that puzzle is you don't want to beat somebody sitting on the trailer.
Never.
You want to get out and beat them.
That's right. That's right.
And if you can help them get out there,
and beat them,
and then beat them.
That's right.
That's when it's good.
That's what it's all about.
And I've heard drivers talk to me about I love this term, the competitive experience.
Yeah.
You don't want to just beat them on the water and go out and beat them by a lap. You know, that deck-to-deck stuff's got to be the best. I mean, and then you're getting a good, tight battle, and you're going at it. And then one of my favorite things to do is when that's done, having the good fortune of being in the pit area and on the dock, you guys don't want to talk to me. You want to go straight to the other driver.
Some big hugs, man, like some big high fives. Like, wow, it was one heck of a race. And there's a lot of respect, you know, when you're that close to someone at 190 miles an hour. And, you know, so when you come through that the right way, and I've done it in lower classes, but, man, it sure feels good when you're deck to deck and whoever wins, but you're just proud of the moment.
Looking on our screen there, you're looking at Mike Hansen there on the left. He is the crew chief of the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. And all I would say to Mike there is if that's the engine you just took out of the boat, I would go put it in the corner of the truck and just say, this one's pretty good.
That's the bullet. That's the bullet. Yeah. But they've got a couple bullets in there, so I don't know. Yep, they can put that one in the corner, but they got several others that they could probably put in and do about the same thing.
And that's the mind game that goes on in the pit area. That they could say, yeah, that was just a dog engine we were running. We didn't really know what it would do. Yep. We've got our good stuff still sitting in the truck. We're not bringing it out until we get to the final heat.
Yeah, and I see Brian Haney in that picture too, and he definitely is one that will never show his cards. So, yep, there's probably something even faster in there. You never know.
That's the name of the game in racing.
Yep.
And the U27, we are just being told, has cleared the truck. Excellent. So far, everybody's cleared this run. Everybody that has run, we've put their boxes to self-partial in the truck, and they have cleared tech inspection. So far, so good. And it's just the opposite of what we saw this morning, and that's part of the test session of what we're trying to learn, because most everybody went out and had N2 violations this morning. but now they seem to have that problem in the rearview mirror. They found out how hard they could push the envelope, and everybody has passed tech this afternoon.
Yeah, yep, no, all good stuff. I know I was hearing something in my ear about the weather delays. Was a little hard to hear, but you know, we will wait it out until we're ready.
I heard something that wasn't terribly hard to hear while you were trying to do that. I heard some thunder off in the distance. I heard a couple claps of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely some weather in the area. And I also find it quite interesting that when we were talking about the wind earlier, it was blowing off the top end of the race course down toward turn 1. And look where it is now. And those flags that are out in front of us, there's a couple of American flags out there. They're pointing the other way. It's almost gone 180 degrees around. Yep. Now we've got the water blowing up the race course from turn 1 up toward start-finish line, where we are situated, young man.
Yeah, and I would just say don't log out yet, because I still see sun breaks. We call that sun breaks in Seattle, but I see an opportunity of maybe some good weather coming.
And those that are looking on the screen there at the H1 live stream, that is the Miss Madison. H1s, we are just being told, are done for the day.
Okay.
We're being told they are done. I've also, if you get that boat that was there on the screen, the Madison, up a little bit higher, for those of us who follow this stuff really closely and know that it's the former T3, and the last time we saw the boat on the water in 2012, it was the 88-degree men.
Yep.
On the bottom, in gold lettering on the black bottom, it says degree men on the bottom of the boat.
Hey, that's all right.
And there's still a few gold stripes on the side of it when I was looking at it yesterday. So, hey, but that is okay.
That is okay.
We don't care. It's okay. I feel bad they didn't get out and run. I know they are disappointed, but I also know equally as well they won't give up.
Nope, no way.
They've come this far.
No way. Yeah, the amount of work that they've done in such a short period of time is amazing. And I know that boat will get out there, and we'll just be there when the time is right.
When the time is right, we will be there and cover it for you.
Yes.
We are understanding.
We're going to save our dance, our little.
That's it. Well, I definitely want to be here when that happens, because it's going to be fun. And I can only imagine the celebration in the pit area when we do get Brandon Kennedy qualified, because that day's coming. As we got our camera up working in the pit area now, so we're seeing, although it's jumping around a bit there, we're seeing some of the activity.
They may back up and look at the thunder strike that we just saw. That was a pretty serious one. So I'm afraid of snakes and sharks and maybe thunder and lightning too. But yeah, those are the only three things. Yeah.
Oh. Try it again, Cory. I got you. Say it loud.
Yeah, Brad's getting some more information on the thunderstorms, and we're looking at a beautiful lake. I tell you, Lake Guntersville is a really special place, and want to just take a minute to say thank you to all the volunteers that have helped put this together. We really, it's a family environment. It's great to see the fans, and they'll be coming out today and tomorrow and Sunday. So we're just really excited for this race.
So, Cory, I'm being told in my ear, and we've got hand signals that we're getting really good at understanding here. We're getting pretty good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We are done for the day. H1 is done for the day. That means you and I are done for the day. The group in the truck and the officials here off to our right have told us that no more activity is going to take place on the water at the 2025 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest and the Race for the Southern Cup. Don't forget that part. But you and I are not going anywhere. Okay. I'm Brad Luce. He is Brent Hall, and he and I are going to be here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We will be live. Take it to the bank. I know there's some of you out there that think we were a little late. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yes.
We're going to be here, Brent.
We are. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
For Brent Hall, I'm Brad Luce. Erica Allreed over in the pit area. So long from Lake Guntersville, Alabama. We'll see you tomorrow morning. More H1 racing to come. Good night, everybody. Pack jumped over onto the boat looks good. I really like the look. boats.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, really flying the boat. It doesn't get any better than that. They are going to be side by side. This is for the checkered flag.